If you feel like people are becoming more toxic, self-absorbed, and manipulative, you're not wrong. And psychology explains that it's actually way worse than you think. Something is happening in modern society that is rewarding the worst parts of who we are. In this video, we're unpicking 7 reasons why, from the way social media has rewired our values to the way hustle culture has made ruthlessness look like ambition. Let's start with the first reason, something that millions of people, including you, are being quietly reshaped by without even realizing it. Social media is rewarding toxic behavior. Social media didn't just change how we communicate, it changed what we value. When likes, views, and followers become measures of worth, people start performing instead of connecting. Psychologists call this impression management. And while it's always existed, technology has supercharged it. Now everyone is building a personal brand whether they realize it or not. The problem is that when attention becomes the goal, authenticity becomes the cost. People learn to exaggerate, provoke, and manipulate because that's what gets rewarded. The loudest voice wins. The most dramatic take gets shared. And over time, people don't just act toxic online, they internalize it. The performance becomes the personality. People are losing the ability to empathize. Here's something uncomfortable. Empathy isn't just something you're born with. It's a skill that needs practice. And modern life is giving us fewer and fewer chances to practice it. We interact through screens more than faces. We consume people's pain as content and scroll past it in seconds. We've normalized ghosting, canceling, and cutting people off at the first sign of discomfort. Researchers have tracked a measurable decline in empathy among young adults over the past 2 decades. It's not that people don't care. It's that the environments we spend most of our time in don't require us to care. When you can block someone instead of resolving conflict, when you can swipe past suffering without consequence, your empathy muscle slowly weakens. And without empathy, toxic behavior doesn't even register as toxic. It just feels normal. Modern society makes people feel chronically inadequate. Behind most toxic behavior is a person who doesn't feel like enough. And modern society is incredibly effective at making people feel inadequate. You're constantly exposed to curated highlight reels of other people's lives, bodies, careers, and relationships. Comparison isn't just the thief of joy anymore. It's a full-time occupation. Psychologists link this to what's called chronic status anxiety, a persistent feeling that you're falling behind. When people feel small, they often cope by making others feel smaller. The coworker who undermines you, the friend who can't celebrate your wins, the stranger who tears you apart in the comments. Most of them aren't evil. They're drowning in their own inadequacy and pulling others down to stay afloat. Narcissistic behavior is being mistaken for success. Our culture has a blind spot. We celebrate people who are bold, self-promoting, and relentlessly ambitious without asking what's driving it. Narcissistic traits like grandiosity, lack of empathy, and a need for admiration are often mistaken for leadership, charisma, and strength. Studies show that narcissistic individuals tend to rise faster in organizations and gain social influence more quickly. But they also leave a trail of damaged relationships and toxic environments behind them. When society keeps promoting these people, it sends a clear message. Being self-serving works, and people who might not be naturally narcissistic start mimicking those behaviors, because that's what seems to lead to success. Most people were never taught how to manage their emotions. Most of us were taught math, science, and history. Very few of us were taught how to regulate emotions, communicate needs, set boundaries, or resolve conflict without destruction. Psychologists have long argued that emotional intelligence is just as critical as cognitive intelligence for healthy relationships and social functioning, but it's still treated as optional, something you either figure out on your own or you don't. The result is a society full of adults who have no idea how to handle frustration, rejection, or vulnerability. So they lash out, they manipulate, they shut down, not because they're bad people, but because no one ever taught them another way. Loneliness is making people more aggressive and hostile. This one gets overlooked. We are living through what many researchers call a loneliness epidemic. Despite being more connected than ever, people report feeling more isolated, more misunderstood, and more emotionally alone. And loneliness doesn't just make people sad. Studies show it increases hostility, suspicion, and antisocial behavior. When people feel disconnected, they start viewing the world as threatening. They become defensive, territorial, and quick to attack. A lot of what we label as toxic behavior is actually the outward expression of someone who feels profoundly alone and doesn't know how to bridge the gap. Number 7. Hustle culture has made it acceptable to treat people badly. There's a popular narrative that success requires sacrifice, and somewhere along the way, that started to include sacrificing how you treat people. Hustle culture glorifies working yourself to the bone, cutting out anyone who slows you down, and prioritizing ambition over everything else. When rest is seen as weakness and boundaries are seen as obstacles, people start treating others as tools rather than human beings. The toxic boss, the friend who only calls when they need something, the partner who's emotionally unavailable because they're chasing the next milestone. These aren't anomalies. They're products of a system that told them relationships are secondary to results. So what does all of this mean? It means that toxicity isn't really a character flaw in most cases. It's an adaptation. People are responding to a world that rewards selfishness, punishes vulnerability, and starves them of genuine connection. That doesn't excuse the behavior, but it does explain it. And understanding the cause is the first step toward breaking the cycle. If you recognize any of these patterns in yourself, that awareness alone puts you ahead. Toxic behavior thrives in the dark. Once you see it, you can start choosing differently. And if you're on the receiving end, remember this: most toxic people aren't monsters. They're under-equipped humans navigating a world that was never designed to bring out their best. So what do you think? Is modern society making people more toxic, or are we just more aware of it now? Let us know in the comments. If this gave you something to think about, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to keep going, we made a video about 10 unexpected ways pain changes you. Not the obvious stuff, the psychological shifts that happen underneath, the ones that make you different in ways you can't quite explain. If you've ever come out the other side of something hard and wondered why you're not the same person you were before, that one is for you. The link is right here. We bring you the kind of psychology that actually makes sense of the world around you, so subscribe. There's a lot more coming.